Hello, welcome to the GenXplainers Podcast. And today we have a special guest. It's Rand. You know him. He's been on before, but he's bringing a song. And of course, the regular panel is here as well. Say hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hello.
And so I'm just going to kick it right over to Rand. He can introduce the song he is going to bring to us.
Sure. So in the mid-'80s, when I was in high school, my older brother was in college. And whenever he would come home, he would introduce to me all this music get from college radio and living in the dorms. And one of those bands was a British band called The Cure, who, believe it or not, were not very popular in the US at that point. They had 5 albums, a bunch of singles, and really just an incredible variety of sound. You know, they had these dark, gloomy goth songs. They had dance club songs. They had psychedelic rock. And then they had their early material from the late 70s, their debut album and some of their early singles, which was this kind of tight, minimalist pop rock stuff. Lots of different stuff to dive into. And one track that really stood out for me when I was listening to all this stuff was their second single called Boys Don't Cry, that came out in June of 1979. The weird thing that the British do is they do not release a lot of singles from their albums. They put out albums and they put out singles separately from songs that are not on the albums. Their debut album came out, Three Imaginary Boys came out in May of 79, and 1 month later, they released their second single, Boys Don't Cry. It sounded a lot like songs that were on their debut album, but in my mind, it had like a real catchy poppiness that was very different than anything else that was on the album, and just an amazing maturity of lyrical content from someone. I don't know, Robert Smith was probably, late teens or 20 or something when he wrote this song, and it was really an amazing thing that he was doing at that age to have this great lyrical content about, this social idea that men are supposed to keep their emotions inside and not cry. And he admitted that he is very emotional and he thought that was ridiculous and he wanted to write a song about that.
I would say I'm sorry if I thought that it would change your mind, but I know that this time I have said too much, been too unkind. I try to laugh about it, cover it all up with lies. I try to laugh about it, hiding the tears in my eyes, 'cause boys don't cry.
I'm an emotional person. That struck a chord with me. I might even tear up a little bit just talking about this song right now. That's how I am. So this song, with its great lyrical content, its catchy melody, really good tight production. I can't talk about music without talking about a good bass line. This bass line was done by Michael Dempsey, who's the original bass player from The Cure. Simon Gallup, longtime bass player, a lot of iconic Cure bass lines, but Michael Dempsey has a really different kind of sound. I think if Simon Gallup was doing this bass line, it would have been totally different. So it's great. You got this kind of like catchy, poppy, plucky kind of thing that Michael Dempsey really brings to this song. So great, catchy pop song. It's got a good beat and you can dance to it. So I like that. And it ends like any good song should do. it ends on a solid note and does not fade out. I don't know why anyone ever fades out music. I think that's ridiculous. But so a good song starts strong, finishes strong, and a perfect pop song.
Mm-hmm.
And while you were talking, I did look it up. He wrote it when he was 16. Yeah, the way I just looked it up while you were talking. So
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing.
So, I don't know what I was doing when I was 16, but I was not, right.
You were writing pop songs that still are played today.
Yeah, exactly.
You were hiding away in your room crying because it was not socially acceptable.
I was writing this song and then crying in my room because someone had already written it.
So yeah, this song is much more spare, sort of post-punk Cure in its purest form. I don't know when I first heard it. The first Cure song I ever heard was probably The Walkers or Let's Go to Bed or something. But I'm sure I discovered this soon after. I had the American release, their first American release, called Boys Don't Cry.
Yeah.
Again, like you said, it's weird. In England, they'll just put out a single. It's not on an album, but yeah, the American release had choice tracks from Three Imaginary Boys, and it included this song as well. And I got that on vinyl, and I listened to it a lot. And yeah, I think I really liked it when it came out, and I think I still like it. It's a great song. How about Al, Mike?
It was not the first song I heard of theirs. I'm pretty sure the first song I heard of theirs was Love Cats. I remember distinctly when I heard this song, though, that it became my favorite song of theirs for a long time. And I would always play it in my car and crank up the volume as loud as I could and play this song going down the street. So, this was definitely probably my first of my favorites of The Cure, I would say. And it's always stuck with me, and I still listen to it quite a bit to this day. So,
yeah, this was not the first Cure song I had heard, although I definitely heard it on the Quake, as so many of us did. Our first early songs from those high school days, earlier. I think the first Cure song I ever heard was "Killing an Arab," and I don't think I connected that song with other Cure songs. It was I remember there was a specific time in my life where I remember "Killing an Arab" and the Boys Don't Cry are by the same band. It was before I was a fan.
Yeah.
First single and second single, tell you unrecognizable between the two.
Mm.
Yeah.
But no, I love this song. It's a great song, and it's definitely a different vibe than most Cure songs.
yeah.
But as a Cure fan, I'm more of an early Cure fan than later Cure fan. So this is definitely in my wheelhouse, and is probably the favorite song of my daughter of all the songs that we have done for Perfect Song.
Oh, really? She dug it that much?
She loves this song.
Yeah.
When I played it for her, she, I know the song. I love this song.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's the thing with this song. It's coming from a person who's, teenager, late teens, this whole, all these songs in this sort of time period for Robert Smith. So it has a sensibility of, it's very simple, but it's poppy, but there's something else going on. And that's, Rand mentioned the lyrics and mentioned, he's dealing with different topics, very personal. And that's something Robert Smith will continue to do through his career. It's very personal, very honest, and very, very personal, very honest. And I think in this one's just very straightforward. It's like a pop little ditty,
Yeah, the song is pushing 50 years old now, and it's got lasting it's got lasting value. I mean, they still play it live a lot. It was the last song of when we went to see them last year at the Shoreline, and people love it.
I think what's especially again him writing this when he was 16 and dealing with all the stuff he talks about lyrics. I mean, especially with the bridge, the misjudge your limits, pushed you too far, took you for granted, thought that you needed me more. It's like, I mean, what teenagers think about that? Most are, and so he's dealing with those emotions through this, and it's so relatable to so many people. You have like certain things that you just have to deal with emotionally, and he's dealing with that in the song, and it's really impressive that he's doing that at such a young age.
I misjudged your limit. I pushed you too far. I took you for granted. I thought that you needed me more. Now I would do most anything to get you back by my side.
I mean, I would not have thought of that when I was that age. I'd be like, I'm selfish.
Yeah, I mean, there's so
Not
many
selfish, you
artists
guys.
that, their early material, they write it and then they kind of look back and go, wow, that was embarrassing. I didn't really know what I was doing back then, but
Yeah.
he apparently knew what he was doing.
Yeah, and it has a universal appeal or it's universal feelings, and again, he's expressing something that people again don't talk about out in the open or in pop songs usually,
Yeah.
So I think there's an audience there where they're like, oh, this guy kind of gets what's going on in my head, or the things I'm feeling that I don't want to share. At least at the time, people maybe there was a lot of that probably.
What I think is interesting is the original single cover has men in army gear, or helmets, military outfits, and everything. So they kind of have this military approach to it. Men not only don't cry, but they go to war.
Yeah.
Right.
A little extra thing on the single sleeve.
And I love the fact that it's the way he does it. It's like boys don't cry, but you sense that all he's doing is crying while he's singing and writing into the song. So I just think it's brilliant in that respect. So
He's hiding the tears in his eyes.
he is, but his vocal styles too, like the I don't want to say whiny because it's not whiny, but the way he sings, it's like comes across as like that emotional crying kind of thing too. So
It's emotionally bare. Yeah.
yeah,
It's right out there.
And he's not only saying, people can't see me cry. He's also going that step further and sort of with the idea saying, hey, I would break down at your feet and beg forgiveness. I'd plead with you, but I know there's nothing I can do. And also, well, boys don't cry. So I can't show that vulnerability to you, because it's not what I'm supposed to do kind of thing, So yeah, it's simple, but kind of secretly deep.
I think what we're all trying to say is he's a very old soul.
He's an old soul. Well, let's quickly talk about how it's used in popular culture. I mean, it's an enduring song. They named a movie after it. Boys Don't Cry.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah,
There was also a band in the 90s or late 80s, early 90s named Boys Don't Cry, which always confused me.
I wanna be a cowboy, and you can be my cowgirl. I wanna be a cowboy, and you can be my cowgirl.
right.
I'd be flipping through the record stores, I'd see that and we'd get all excited.
It's like,
I'm
ooh.
like, that's another band.
And they were just a band that did their own. They weren't like a cover band. They were just.
Yeah, they just decided to have that as their band name. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's in a lot of movies, just in the soundtrack as well. And like you had mentioned, Rand, when they play it live, and they still play it live, crowd goes wild. It's a fave. It's a favorite.
Yeah, and they re-recorded it in '86 as with the club mix, they called it.
Yeah.
The video they brought back, they put Lowell Tolhurst back on drums, and Michael Dempsey is actually, and they're in silhouette behind a screen playing with kids playing in front of them. But those are the actual original Cure members in silhouette behind the screen in that video. So I
hadn't realized that they brought Michael Dempsey for the video.
Yeah, I know, it's a silhouette. It could have been anybody, but they're like, wow, man, Come
That's
on.
funny. That's nice that they did that. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, Robert's been very good about kicking people out and then bringing them back in. And I mean, Michael Dempsey left on his own, but he didn't like the musical direction the band was going, and so
So really, you're just attacking Lowell.
pretty much, yeah.
Well, you know what?
Well, he's used to it.
That's true. That's true.
Well, he had to be forgiving of people he kicked out because everyone has to be tolerant of his issues during certain periods.
Yep.
What do you mean? I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, when we get to the perfect song of Shake Dog Shake, we can go into
We can talk about Robert Smith alone in a studio playing the drums, tracking it,
on all the drugs.
and on all the drugs.
All of them.
We hope you're enjoying this GenXplainers podcast. Please remember to find us and follow us on social media. And we'd much appreciate a 5-star rating on the podcast platform of your choice. Now, let's get back to the show.
Boys don't cry. Boys don't cry. Boys don't cry.
Okay. All right. Well, let's ask the question. Let's start with Rand. Well, you brought it, so I'm assuming you think it's perfect. Yes.
I love this song. I'm the one who brought it. I think it's really amazing songwriting, holds up over time, great production, great musicality. Is that a word?
Yeah.
it actually is a word.
It is, yeah.
I think it's a great pop song and a perfect song.
All right. How about Mike?
I'm gonna go yes on this one. I mean, it's like this. I mean, it's no secret. I've talked about it on this podcast before that The Cure is my favorite band. So I pretty much. I mean, there's very few songs that I dislike of theirs, but this is one of my top. It's not my personal favorite, but it also stands out to me in this like it's timeless and play it today. It sounds just as good as it did back when I first heard it. So.
And how about you, Al? You can go next.
Yes, it's an unqualified yes. I think I may be so bold to say this is one of the most perfect songs of all the perfect songs that we've had on our podcast.
Wow.
Two thumbs up.
Two
from
thumbs
Alan.
up.
Three. Give me another thumb, someone. All right.
That's not my thumb. Sorry. As for me, I love this song. It's a fantastic song. And for like a split second, after I listened to it again and to refresh my memory, I thought, I don't know, is it too twee or is it too old? And then I kicked myself in the ass and said, no, it's a perfect song. So shut up, dude. So yeah, I agree. It's a perfect song.
Quad Squad.
Quad
Squad.
Quad Squad.
Perfect plus. Turkey plus.
Turkey plus. All right. Well, there you go. I mean, I think a lot of people have already heard the song, but hey, if you haven't, get ready for a fun song and a perfect song.
It'll only take 2.5 minutes of your life.
Yeah, so short.
Right.
That's almost 3. You can fit 3 of these into the How Soon Is Now time. Not quite. Anyway, thanks for listening. Thanks, Rand, for coming on to the show and bringing us this perfect song.
Absolutely.
And
Yes, thank you.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.